Well, next up on Left, Right and Centre, the ripples from yesterday's 18-hour communal clash in Haryana's Nuh, which claimed 5 lives and left at least 70 people injured. That's reached Badshahpur, 50 kilometers away. Shops and eateries were vandalized and torched by a mob this evening amidst religious chants. Eyewitnesses said a mob of around 200 had entered the area around 3 p.m. armed with sticks and stones. They vandalized several shops, including several meat shops. They set fire to an eatery. No one was injured. Violence broke out during a religious procession yesterday in Nuh, just 50 kilometers away from Delhi. Let's bring you ground reports of the situation in the greater Gurugram area.
Arson, firing, vandalism and violence continued for almost 18 hours in Haryana's Nuh and the Sona area of Gurugram, which is just 50 kilometers from Delhi. This after stone pelting at a VHP Yatra in Nuh. From there, the violence spread to other parts. Shops were burnt and vehicles were torched at several places. Rioters rammed a bus into the cyber police station in Nuh and burnt several vehicles parked there. The situation was brought under control after paramilitary forces arrived late at night. According to estimates, more than 100 vehicles were set on fire by the rioters. 44 FIRs have been registered so far and more than 70 people have been arrested.
निश्चित रूप से एक बड़े षड्यंत्र का कहीं न कहीं हिस्सा लगता है। सब जिलों में शांति स्थापित इस समय की गई है। छानबीन के बाद जो भी दोषी लोग होंगे उनके खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई की जाएगी। किसी भी उपद्रवी को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
Late on Monday night, a mosque was attacked and one person was killed there.
We have already arrested 5 people following raids throughout the night.
After relative calm in the morning, fresh violence was reported from Badshahpur in Gurugram, where meat shops and non-veg restaurants were burnt and attacked by mobs chanting religious slogans.
The glass of this restaurant has been completely broken. You can see it's absolutely shocking. We'll show you how bad the situation is. Even here you can see that as this used to be a restaurant, there are some chairs there inside. My camera person Joseph is going to show you. There are chairs for customers and there's glass all over. That's all you can see because this shop was also vandalized by a mob of around 200 people. Extremely concerning situation that we are seeing, a tense situation that we are seeing here in Haryana's Gurugram. A small cooler that has also been damaged along with all the glass here. The boards have been damaged. Whatever glass there used to be, there's glass all over the floor as well. And everything has been vandalized in this small little restaurant in Gurugram's Badshahpur. More and more such incidents now coming up of specific targeted attacks on shops by a mob of close to 100 to 200 people and in some cases even more. Even after the police had imposed Section 144 and assured that there are no fresh cases of violence, even then these cases of vandalism are being seen in Haryana's Gurugram.
So the question is, what led to this large-scale violence? This man is Monu Manesar, who released a video on July 30 declaring that he will attend the Yatra in Nuh and urged people to come. Monu is wanted in the murder of 2 young men from Rajasthan's Bharatpur, Junaid and Nasir, and has been on the run since February. Junaid and Nasir were beaten to death allegedly by Monu and his accomplices and burnt alive in their own car. Statements from Monu and other right-wing activists such as Bittu Bajrangi and rumors of Monu coming to the Yatra led to the unrest.
प्रशासन की ये जिम्मेवारी बनती थी कि इन चीज़ों को जब हमने और लोगों ने भी अखबारों में भी सब चीज़ आई थी कि हालात जो है तनावपूर्ण हो रहे हैं, हम समझते हैं अगर सही वक्त पे सही कदम उठाए जाते प्रशासन तो इस तरीके की जो ये टकराव बना, जो ये यहाँ नूह में आके एक अफवाह और छोड़ दी गई या क्या है किसी चीज़ के लिए कि मोनू मानेसर यहाँ आ गया है, उससे ये स्थिति जो है ये जो उत्पन्न हुई उसमें हमें बड़ा दुख है इस बात का कि हमारा इलाका कलंकित हुआ है.
The administration has also admitted that the violence was triggered by Monu Manesar's statement and rumors of his arrival.
नो डाउट अगर हम सोशल मीडिया को मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जिला पुलिस ने उसके हिसाब से तैयारियां भी कर रखी थी और ऐसी उम्मीद नहीं थी कि इतना बड़ा हिंसा हो सकती है. तैयारियां करी गई थी। नो डाउट कुछ कमियां रही हैं, उसी वजह से हिंसा हुई
This
है।
is right across the high-rise buildings of Gurugram city. There's a high-rise building right opposite to where I'm standing. And right on the other side, you are seeing these shops that have been burnt in the communal violence that has been going on. That started in Nu, but that has been spreading in Gurugram as well. The police officials told us that there's no major violence that has been reported today. They told us that majorly the violence got over yesterday when a mosque was also torched, burnt last night. But we are clearly saying that the violence is continuing even today in several parts of Gurugram as well.
The irony is that neither Monu Manasa nor Bittu Bajrangi came to attend the procession, but rumours of their arrival has left 5 killed and 70 injured. With Saurabh Shukla, Sushil Rathi and Priyanshi Sharma, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Well, joining us now, Yashwardhan Azad, a former special director at the IB. Veena Gupta is a social activist and a resident of Gurgaon. Thank you very much for being with us. Mr. Azad, let me come to you first. Do you not believe that it's bizarre that Monu Manesar has to release a video and after that the police don't take enough action in terms of having presence, knowing fully well the impact that a video like this might make?
Well, Monu Pahalwan is wanted in that double murder case, and he should have immediately been picked up and sent to Rajasthan. I mean, that is exactly what the police should have done immediately at that particular point of time. And especially that it would fan flames of communal passion. That was another reason to hold him immediately. Unfortunately, this wasn't done. But the next day, even if you knew that this kind of a rumor was going on, it would have a kind of a reaction. And therefore, it's extremely essential that the entire team should have been there. Absolutely, even if shooting was required, you couldn't allow this kind of thing which had happened over there. Nobody has a right to also throw stones at a procession. But if the procession is adopting threatening postures, then obviously you have to take action immediately. Look at what that brave officer Prabhakar did in Bareilly, for example. When that Julus was passing the mosque and there were threatening postures, he immediately lathi charged and cleared. So I think it's a problem with the district administration. It just did not do anything. And once this kind of a communal incident happens, if you don't nip it in the bud, the reactions go on. And that is what we are seeing in the kind of cyclical violence which is taking place. And even it has engulfed Gurugram and Sona and all these places. Absolutely unfortunate and could have been avoided.
Mr. Azad, is that your fear that this isn't the end of it?
No, this is not the end of it because if a religious place is burned, you will have a reaction. If one community shops have been burnt, and I have been only in the communal districts of Madhya Pradesh, whether it's Bhopal, it's Mandsaur, it's Jabalpur, and all that, I have seen this cycle. You have to be very, very tough at the initial. You cannot allow anyone to go berserk. As it is, Vishnu, I am not in favor of too many processions going on, almost, with monotonous regularity, on and on. I mean, this can't go on. Country has to move ahead. So if you're having something like this, allowing this is like a tinderbox. And once you know that there is a kind of a rumor floating, and it is coming from an arch criminal, a criminal who's wanted in 2 cases, how can you allow it from any community or from anywhere? I mean, I know throwing stones at the procession is wrong, but then you should have taken preventive action to arrest this guy and tell those guys that, now if you throw stones, we are going to take the hell of an action against you too. So what it means is a fair, even-handed administrative action, which, of course, I mean, it's tragic to see 100 vehicles burned. It's tragic to see, the shops being burned. It's horrible. I mean, I find it so distasteful in modern India that in 2023 we are going back to 1890s.
No, it is shocking indeed. Veena, what has the impact been where you are? Is it your worry that in parts of Gurgaon, some of the most developed parts in the National Capital Region, educational institutes have been shut, internet access was difficult earlier on, that any number of people would continue to suffer for the time being.
Yeah, because the area where I live, which is Sector 57, which is very close to my house and my office itself. So basically the community, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. So the office area of mine where I live, this is just I think 100 meters away where this thing happened, like, the mosque and the temple has been affected. So entire office has been disturbed. My staff has not been come at the office. So I think the fear factor for us is that, mostly the female staff, and then of course the entire office staffs, and then disturbance where within the city and within the area where we commute every day. So I think the staff has not come for work, and then day-to-day task has been disturbed. So it's a fear factor that, anything can happen. And it's a civil unrest which really leaves us in a fear factor that what's going to be next. So I feel it's a really very sad situation, and it could have been stopped. Knowing that social media, it's very, very powerful when there's a small video, small thing or statement has been viral. So I think we should have taken some good measure, or some precautions before this could happen.
Well, I'd like to thank you both very much for joining us and sharing those thoughts. And I think it is time to look a little more closely at the role of social media, because as the police investigate the Noor riots and political leaders have called it a conspiracy, what role did social media play in leading up to the violence? We have this report.
Now, we know that social media played a big role in triggering the communal clashes in the Noor district of Haryana that erupted on Tuesday evening. Now, the whole story really began on Sunday, a day before the clashes, when a Bajrang Dal member called Monu Manesar posted a video to his Instagram account declaring that he would be taking part in the VHP Yatra in Noor, and also asked people to turn out in big numbers. Now, let's recap on who Monu Manesar actually is. He's the head of the Bajrang Dal in Haryana and a leader of the notorious Gau Rakshak Dal in Mewat. He's also the main accused in the murder of two Muslim cattle traders, Junaid and Nasir, last year. Their bodies were found charred in their car, and ever since he's been declared as absconding, although he regularly posts videos of cow vigilantism on his social media. Remember, he's also denied involvement in these murders. Let's also keep in mind that the Noor district is the only Muslim majority district in Haryana and has the highest proportion of Muslims outside Kashmir in North India. So understandably, Monu Manesar's video created quite a stir on social media. It prompted the Muslim community members to post comments challenging Manesar to actually show up to the Yatra and threatened to attack him if he did. Now, of course, what we know is that Monu Manesar ultimately did not end up attending the Yatra, and he cited advice from the VHP that his presence would only trigger violence, but it seems that just his post was enough to create tension there. In fact, the new MLA Aftab Ahmed spoke to my colleague Saurabh Shukla, saying that if the police had reacted to the tension building on social media, then the clashes would perhaps not even have happened.
प्रशासन की ये जिम्मेवारी बनती थी कि इन चीज़ों को जब हमने और लोगों ने भी अखबारों में भी सब चीज आई थी कि हालात जो है तनावपूर्ण हो रहे हैं, उस
आपने बताया था जाकर के प्रशासन को कि 3 दिन पहले
बिल्कुल हमने बिल्कुल 1 दिन पहले जो है ये बताया था कि आप इस बात के, कि हमें भी पता है इस बात का, लेकिन हम इस करेंगे। लेकिन हम समझते हैं अगर सही वक्त पे सही कदम उठाए जाते प्रशासन, तो इस तरीके की जो ये टकराव बना, जो ये यहाँ नूह में आके एक अफवाह और छोड़ दी गई या क्या है किसी चीज़ के लिए कि मोनू मानेसर यहाँ आ गया है, उससे ये स्थिति जो है ये जो उत्पन्न हुई, उसमें हमें बड़ा दुख है इस बात का कि हमारा इलाका कलंकित हुआ है.
That leads us to the question, why did the police not take cognizance of what was unfolding on social media? Why has Monu Manesar not been found and arrested yet? And why did the police not anticipate communal tension in a sensitive area? These questions remain unanswered. Nayantara Singh for NDTV.